cultural anxiety, Amara. Onwukaeme. Thank you.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Amara. So, have you finished your homework? You haven't been in math. Simple 2 + 2 equation can't get. Yes, I took it for a minute in my household. You see, I come from a Nigerian background, and believe me, it's not always the easiest thing to cope with. From all the rolling of eyes, the sucking of teeth, the yelling, the screaming, Mom, this is no longer Nigeria anymore, this is America now. But why? Why is society so afraid of the culture that we come from, yet so eager to conform to a culture so foreign? What causes this cultural anxiety? I stop and think. Experience is the best teacher itself. I walk into school one morning with my beads in my hair, my Nigerian print shirt, my robe and purse, and I came to school elated. But the first thing my friend said to me, rather asked, was, "What are you wearing?" I thought she was just kidding. I thought she was trying to be funny. But throughout the day, the comments continued. Comments like, "What are you wearing? You look like a clown, fashion mistake." I was hurt. So from that day forward, I no longer wore the beads in my hair. From that day forward, I no longer wore my Nigerian print shirt. From that day forward, I no longer wore my woven purse. From that day forward, I no longer accepted my culture. My mother saw these changes in me. She saw the changes in what I ate, who I spoke to, what I wore, and watched me become the prey of cultural anxiety. So I was no longer a victim. And she uttered words into what we will never forget. Ezoku Bundo, Biko, which means don't be afraid of your roots. So I was no longer a victim. I was no longer a victim to a society where it's no longer too cool to be African. I was no longer a victim to a society that laughs at cultural differences instead of trying to accept them. I was no longer a victim to cultural anxiety. So what is this cultural anxiety that I keep on referring to? Cultural anxiety is a fear implementing the visual with a different heritage, the fear of being judged negatively upon others, the fear of their culture. But I stop and think, maybe it's not that we are afraid of our culture, but more so the society that demands it. So what is the best way to combat this cultural anxiety? I define it as easy as SAT. That says we're stopping the stereotypes, learning to accept, and then eventually we'll have to end it. So first things first, stereotypes. Now, some of you all may be thinking, what do stereotypes have anything to do with cultural anxiety? After all, they're innocent little jokes that people make about other people. But if you're thinking that, you're merely proving my point. Latinos, Asians, Africans immigrate from their homeland to live out this American dream, but are shut down by this cultural hate. So not all Latinos want to cut your grass. If you want to get your nails done, not all Chinese people do it. Not all African people live in huts. It is hard for me to turn on my television on most nights and find my culture, my country, completely unrepresented by this dominant culture and such crude stereotypes. So stop with the stereotypes because, frankly, they've never been funny. Second of all, acceptance. I find this the most prominent way of combating cultural anxiety. Because maybe if people would stop laughing at my last name during roll call and instead ask me the meaning of it, maybe I would feel more accepted. Maybe if people stop assuming that Africans click and that we clap and instead ask us the different variations of our language, maybe I would feel more accepted. Maybe people would stop assuming that Nigerians are so dirty because we eat with our hands and instead ask me the tradition behind it, maybe I would feel more accepted. You see, when other people start to accept us, maybe we'll start to accept ourselves. Next, togetherness. America is undeniably a nation of many colors. We are woven together by different races, religions, and ethnicities. We're often referred to as the melting pot, but I find we're more like a tossed salad. We have our croutons or lettuce, but we still have our individualities. So when we stop the cultural anxiety by stopping the stereotypes, learning to accept, then we can put away that melting pot and get that salad tossed again.